Good afternoon, Holmes Road Church of Christ. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Just bringing a little devotional thought to you. Hope to encourage you and spur you along your way. A few years ago, one of our beloved little old ladies in our church, one of the little widow ladies in our church, she called me and said that she needed a ride to the hospital. It wasn't an emergency or anything, but she was going to have a scheduled procedure that was going to take place at the hospital, and after the procedure was over, she knew that she was going to have a lengthy stay in the hospital for recovery. So she had some luggage and some toiletries and little things, crossword book and things like that to take with her. And she was a little nervous and about everything that she was facing, and rightfully so. I mean, most of us would be undergoing a major procedure like this, and she was a little nervous, and so she called me and asked if I would come and pick her up and take her to the hospital. She didn't want to drive by herself, and she didn't want to drive herself to the hospital. She also wanted a way to get the car back to her house and things. So I said, sure, I will. I said, happy to do so. I'll come and pick you up whenever you need and do whatever you need. Of course, I felt honored. I felt very honored that she would pick me to call and ask her to do this, and ask me to do this for her. And I said, I'll be happy to do it. I'll come and get you whenever you need. We'll get you and loaded up. And then she said, well, thank you. I appreciate it. But she said, I want you to drive my car. And then she said, is that okay? Can you drive my car for me? And I was like, well, certainly. I mean, at that time, I was driving a little red Chevy Malibu. If you remember, I didn't have my truck at that time. I assumed that my car was maybe just a little too compact or too low to the ground, and she preferred that I drive her car because it was larger and more spacious. But so I said, well, sure, I'll be happy to do that, whatever you want. I told her, I'm sure my car is just a little too cramped or too hard to get in and out of for you, so we'll just drive your car. But then she said, no, she said, you have a fine car. There's nothing wrong with your car, and you probably think I'm kind of silly, but there's just something about my car, she said. It's kind of a safe place. I know it's irrational, but somehow when I get into my car, I feel protected. She continued to say, my husband bought that car, and when I get in it, I can still feel him. I can feel his presence. I can sense a great deal of love and protection and safety and warmth in that car. And I told her it wasn't silly at all to think that way, and I was glad that she had a safe place like that to go. And I picked her up and I took her to the hospital and drove that car back, parked in her garage, and closed everything up and got in my car and started driving back to work. But her comments, though, they just stayed with me. The way she said it was my safe place, and the way she explained her memories and feelings of being in the car, it got me to thinking about what do I consider to be my safe place. Whenever I'm nervous, whenever I'm scared, whenever I'm facing something that's got me a little nerve-wracked, where do I like to go to? Where is my safe place? Where do I go when I need a sense of protection and safety? I thought of that old 80s song from Guns N' Roses back in the 1980s, what was it, 87, something like that. But the lyrics of that song, Axl Rose sang a song about the feelings that he would have when he looked at his girlfriend. And in that song, he sang these words. He said, her hair reminds me of a warm, safe place where as a child I'd hide and pray for the thunder and the rain to quietly pass me by. For Axl Rose in that song, his girlfriend was a safe place. For others, it's a beloved car. For some, it's a house. Maybe for others, it's a hometown. Maybe for others, it's a special friend, a counselor. Maybe it's the church building. For some, maybe it's a trusted doctor. For maybe some, it's a hospital where you know you can go and get relief from the pains that ail you. Where is your safe place? Where do you run to when the storms of this life start making noise? In Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 10, the writer says this. He says, the name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. In the Old Testament times, the walls of a city and the watchtower in the city provided safety for those who lived in the city. The watchtower was manned with trained men who knew how to keep watch so they could warn the whole city of any coming danger that they might be coming their way. The walls provided a sense of shielding for the citizens within the town, gave them a sense of security. And the writer of this proverb is teaching us, he's pointing out that God's name, which represents all that God is, his character, his person, everything that he is, it provides us the true protection for his people. God is our safe place. Now, I'm not saying that our beloved sister in Christ was wrong for having that feeling of a safe place in her car, or that we shouldn't find safe places in our loved ones or special places you may have here on earth. The fact is, those things are good. They're all positive things for us. But we need to know, we need to understand that all those things are physical things that are temporary and are going to rot away. That beloved car will eventually rust out. That roof overhead is going to eventually rot away and leak in the punishment of years of storms. Hospital offering medical care will only embrace your loved ones so far. It can only do so much. Eventually, all of us are going to pass away, no matter how much medical care we receive. The writer of this proverb is trying to encourage you to find your ultimate safe place in the one true place that will never rot away, that will never pass away. The place is always available. What is your safe place? Whatever your answer is to that question, wherever it is that you seek to find comfort and love and safety and peace, make sure it is ultimately rooted in God's presence. Wherever you run to, make sure it's God's presence that you're going to find yourself in. For He is truly the only place that you need to go when you need strength and protection. Whatever you're going through today, whatever storms of life you may be facing right now, God is offering you that safe place. God is offering you a place to run to. Run to Him. Have a great day, Holmes Road Church of Christ. See you soon, and I hope you will find shelter in the Lord, and I hope that this has been an encouragement to you. Bye-bye for now.